Welcome to another episode of Water and Ice Outdoors, and today we are talking about throwing the Dropshot rig in extremely tough conditions midsummer. So the toughest bites you can find for bass, we're in it right now. Hot days, high skies, no wind. It's exactly what we have today. So I'm going to run you through why the Dropshot is so good at catching bass on tough days. So for my Dropshot setup, I like to use a 7-foot medium fast action rod. This just happens to be a tuned up Custom Rods Apex Elite. And this is a local custom rod company that I've partnered up with. They're unbelievable. You can get your rods built in any length, any action, any weight class. Fantastic rods, super sensitive. Handles are absolutely beautiful. Reel seats are super heavy duty, and they're some of the most sensitive rods I've ever used. So check them out. This just happens to be what I'm using. Any 7-foot, 7-4-foot rod will work well for drop shotting. You do want a little bit longer rod so you can get some leverage on those fish. A lot of times you're fishing vertically or just off the boat, so having that extra length allows you to have a little more sensitivity and a little more control as well. So I've got it paired up with a Daiwa Legalis here. I'm kind of making the move up to the Fuegos. I really like those. They're still a budget reel, about $100, but these Legalis from Daiwa are about $70, and they're some of the best reels you can get for $70. Super nice drag, very responsive. And then I'm using Swagger Tungsten drop shot weight, just the pinch kind that just clinches right onto your line. So hope that gives you a sense on what you can use and how to use it. That was fast. First drop on the Dropshot. Much as I hate to say it, guys, when all else fails, Dropshot's where it's at. Better fish. Might be a pike the way it's fighting. A little better bass. Maybe a 2-pounder. Not happy either. There you go. Dropshot Apex Elite tuned up custom rod. Swagger Tungsten drop shot weight. Can't get better than that. Here's what I'm using, guys. Berkley Max Scent flatworm. It's 3.6 inches and it's got some scent baked into it. It's phenomenal. I love these baits. It just attracts fish to them so well. So check these out. They're cheap, inexpensive, and you'll catch a ton of fish on them. I'm also using a number 2 VMC Nico hook and just skinning that flatworm underneath the chin and right through the nose to make it pretty much weedless. And I like using this number 2 Nico hook. It's a little stouter, doesn't bend quite as much, and you can put bigger baits on there as well, because sometimes when you're drop shotting, the bluegills will just peck the hell out of your smaller baits. And I like using that along with some bigger lures. Today it's not a big deal, but the bluegill like I said, will peck your bait to death, and then you don't even get to the bass. So that's what I like using my setup. Feels all right. It's not a pike. That's a bass. It's a solid one too. It's a solid fish. Okay, not that big, but it'll work. Bite's hard. All right, switch to a Yum Dinger, green pumpkin, and that one took that one right on the fall. About another, it's short, but he's pretty fat. I'm telling you, these Nico hooks are literally the stickiest hooks you will find. VMC Nico hooks, they're just probably the best hooks out there. Little 2-pounder on the drop shot. And that's what you can do. If you're catching a lot of small fish, you can up the size of your lure or your bait. As you can see, I just took a regular Yum Dinger and wacky rigged it on that Nico hook. So those were sunfish bites. If you feel that tap 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 super fast, those are sunfish bites. But when you get that 1 or 2 big thumps, those are gonna be bass. Yeah, now I'm getting into the sunfish. Don't want that. Now when you cast out, you don't have to worry about casting out very far. When you're drop shotting, casting distance isn't a big deal. I think I might have a sunfish on here. Nope, he let go. But as I was saying, casting distance isn't a big deal. Most of the time you're fishing in deeper water with drop shots, and I just kind of like flipping it out there. I mean, maybe 20, 30 feet, letting it sit, and then letting it hit the bottom, and then you just lift up until your line stays straight. So reel up to it, and that was a bite already. And then just wait till your line is straight. You don't want to bow in it because you want it to be, basically you just want to lift it enough so that weight touches the bottom of the lake or the river if you're fishing a river. And then you just want to shake it just ever so slightly. One of the biggest mistakes that people make with a drop shot is they work it too much. I mean, it's pretty deadly if you just use it as a dead stick even. I just don't have the patience for that, so that's real hard for me. So this is an illustration of how I tie my drop shot knot. Basically all it is a polymer knot, and then you leave your tag end a little longer than the length that you want your drop shot to be sitting at. And you basically loop your tag end back through the eye of your hook, and then pinch or cinch or tie, whichever type of drop shot weight you use, tie that onto the bottom of your tag end. And it's as simple as that. So super easy, super quick. There's a lot of ways you can tie drop shot knots, and this is the one that I do. right, guys. It's not always gonna catch you the big ones. It can, not always, but the Dropshot works on really, really tough days. Thanks for watching this episode of Water and Ice Outdoors. Hopefully that gives you a little confidence using the Dropshot, or when to use it, or just on super tough, sunny, midsummer days. Check out my other videos linked below, and check me out on Facebook and Instagram as well. And Tuned Up Custom Rods if you're in Minnesota or anywhere else in the country. Fantastic quality rods. See you next time on Water and Ice Outdoors.